Seated with me here at the Precious Metals Summit at Beaver Creek is Thomas Mumford, CEO, or rather President of Scottie Resources. Tom, before we get into the thick of it, because I understand it's a news flow heavy period for Scottie.
Yep.
Talk to us about the upcoming PEA, slated to come out in October. So
yeah.
What, less than about a month away?
Yep.
What should investors expect out of this?
Yeah, so our PEA is going to be a DSO-based PEA, so a direct shipping ore PEA. We're in a pretty unique spot where we've got a high-grade resource that's on existing infrastructure, so we've got a road right to the project, but we're one of the closest projects in the world for a gold mine to be to a deep water shipping facility, which is the Port of Stewart, which is where Bruce Jack ships their concentrate out of, which is where Skeena lands to, and where Red Chris ships their concentrate out of there. So we're in a relatively unique position from that. So that PEA will focus on that DSO opportunity there. And I think one of the big takeaways from it is it's going to have a very low capital cost, and the ratio of that to NPV is going to be exceptional.
And the cusp of where you're at, I think, is notable for us to also talk about, from junior to developer, right?
Yeah.
What kind of next milestones, other than the PEA, do you want us to understand?
Yeah, so we've got a pretty jam-packed news flow over the next 3 to 6 months for us. So we're in the middle of biggest drill program ever.
Yeah.
We're looking at about 25,000 meters of drilling total. We've just started releasing results. We just released our best drill result ever. It was 30 grams over 23 meters, so amazing hit there. But on the heels of that, we'll be doing the PEA. We've got an ore sorting study, a phase 2 ore sorting, which will be at a feasibility level. That'll be coming out. And then the transition in the new year will be going right into a feasibility level study.
Right.
We've also got a bulk sample underway. So we got permitted this summer for a 10,000 ton bulk sample, planning to ship 3,000 to 4,000 tons of ore from that. The grades are coming along with what we expect. We've done 2 blasts now, and the next step is to crush it and then move it down to the port in Stewart and then ship it out for off-site purposes.
Now, oftentimes we've got investors who don't know the significance of certain things.
Yep.
When it comes to your bulk sample, 10,000 tons, put that in perspective for us.
10,000 tons, it's fairly large. I mean, we're talking many truckloads, like about 100 truckloads of ore will go down the hill. And so it's a large sample. We're permitted one of these every 5 years. This is our kind of go at what this project is going to look like. And it's a proof of concept for us. So we are running this DSO, this direct shipping ore project, in a very similar manner to what this bulk sample goes through. The only variation is that in the full PEA DSO model, we'll be doing ore sorting at the start of it. Here, we're just doing crushing and then shipping that product out.
Now, when it comes to, partnerships, is that something that you're also focused on at this time for Scottie?
Yes, absolutely. So we've got a partnership with Franco-Nevada. So they put in a chunk of money into us in the form of a royalty. The interesting thing there was we were the first company they've ever put a royalty on that didn't have a published resource. Now, we've subsequently put in a resource on it, but that was a technical validation point for us. The other big partnership is one that we just solidified, which is with Ocean Partners, which is a metals trading group. So they've agreed to an offtake agreement with us. So we know the payable terms of when we ship a product out, of what we're going to receive from that. They've taken an equity position, so they're the largest single shareholder in the company now, around 12% in the company. Mm-hmm. They've also given us a $25 million construction loan and cost overrun facility for the project's development.
And when it comes to your area, can you give us your optics on SCOT Resources here?
Yeah, it's interesting. They've had a lot of troubles. So they went in care and maintenance this time last year, and then they've again gone into care and maintenance, and there's this troubled asset. The proximity of them to us is always very unique. So we have 40-kilometer drive to get down to the port where we plan to ship out a DSO product. Ascot's located halfway along there. So there is a mill located halfway with a completed tailings facility. But we'll evaluate that in our PEA as an opportunity, seeing what maybe a toll milling agreement would look like in terms of NPV. But we're just kind of waiting to see what happens with Ascot at the moment.
Okay. Well, I think before you go, my last question is around risk. What are you doing to de-risk? And how, as they come up, are you mitigating that with your team?
Yeah, so I mean, one of the big things for us in the last 3 or 4 months is we hired a mining engineer. So we brought on Sean Massey as the COO of the company. He was the GM for the Bruce Jack mine for the last 3.5 years. With that comes a lot of risk management of how do we operate this mine. I mean, overall, it's a very reduced risk project. You don't have a tailings facility. You don't have a mill. It's a very simple. It's not complicated what we're planning to do. And one of the advantages of Sean and me working together is that we're stepping back. We're looking at what are all the critical path items that we need to address to make sure this thing remains on a timeline, and we're addressing those first. So we've started our baseline studies to get the environmental kind of set up for that. We're addressing the long lead time items for the mining engineering. So we're doing a large geotechnical program this year, because we plan to go right from a PEA into a feasibility study. You know, the margins are quite high in this project. The complexity is low.
Which we'll see in the PEA, right?
Which we will
next month.
see. Yes, exactly.
Okay.
So that's our kind of strategy for de-risking the project, is just get in front of things and plan them out well in advance.
Okay. And that experience at Bruce Jack is massive, right?
Yeah, I mean,
Sean?
it's the next biggest mine to the area.
Yeah. All right. Well, thank you for very much for joining us. Where can investors go to find more about Scottie as we look at all these updates coming out?
Yeah, I mean, you can follow us on social media. We're on Instagram, Facebook. We're also, visit our website.
Yeah.
A lot of the information there.
Okay. Sounds good. Thank you, Tom.
Thank you, Rachel.